So we'll start going over this review. And first question. State if it's an arithmetic sequence or not. And this one, I'm going to say no. By the way, disagree with me at any point, folks. Stick up your hand or give me a shout if you want clarification or you disagree with what I'm saying, because no guarantees that I'm right. I'm going to say that it's got different common differences, or no common difference at all. Different differences from one term to the next. So it's not arithmetic. This one is. We jump up by 3 each time. So that's kind of basic questions about arithmetic sequences. This one is a no, but I do recognize that as the Fibonacci series. Well, they're all Fibonacci numbers, but actually it's not the full series. Now that I look at it again. Zero, 4, 8, 12. Yep. Common difference is 4 there. Okay. Question 2. What's the common difference of this? They're trying to intimidate you by putting fractions in there? Good. I'm glad it doesn't intimidate you. Anytime, no matter what the items look like, you can get the common difference by doing a subtraction from one term to the term just left of it. So if we go 13 halves minus 8 halves, we get the common difference, 5 halves. Oops. Or if you wanted to say that is 2.5, or if you even wanted to say it is 2.5, that's fine. You can find the common difference by doing a subtraction at any time. Okay, number 3. What's the next term in the Yep.
My mom was bringing me some stuff that I forgot, and she's here now.
What's the next term in this sequence? Again, doing a subtraction will give us a common difference, and then we could add that to the last term. So I'm going to pick these two guys, do a subtraction, and find the difference between them. 8.6 minus 7.4 is 1.2. Okay? Now, if I add that common difference, I'll get the next term, which is 11. Four, 5, 6, and 7 were the ones that probably drove you a little bit nuts. For number 4, gives you a sequence. They're asking you to find the expression for the nth term. Well, the nth term is that Tn formula, that good old friend that solves all your problems for you. So I'm going to take what I know from this sequence, put it into that formula, and simplify what I get. Because the thing continues forever, I don't know what Tn is. I do know that A is negative 8. Again, because it continues forever, N is unknown. N is the number of items, so I'll have to leave that as it is. The difference looks like 5. If I simplify that, I get negative 13 plus 5n. Okay? I worked through the brackets and then I simplified all the like terms. Tn is negative 13 plus 5n, or maybe you want to write it as 5n minus 13. It doesn't matter. But that's answer D on your sheet. Number 5. D is negative 2. Well, they're not showing us the sequence. They're just telling us about it. That's enough for us to do the same as we just did with the previous question. A is the same as T1. 5 is the first term. Don't know the number of terms. We do know the difference is negative 2. When we multiply through the brackets and simplify, it looks like 7 minus 2n, or negative 2n plus 7. Again, it doesn't matter. That's answer C on your sheet. Number 6. Ooh, it's a little different. D is 2.1, and they're telling us the fourth term. Well, looking at the possible answers on your sheet there, look at the previous two. There's a 5, there's a negative 2. That's kind of looking like the slope in a linear equation, right? And we kind of looked at that yesterday. If we treat that as the slope in a linear equation, what answer goes with this question? Which one's got a slope of 2.1? Answer B. So we could just confirm that. Answer B says Tn equals that. So let's just confirm that work. T4 is negative 11.3, and it's the fourth term, 19.7. Yeah, I think that's going to work out. I think that's correct. So I'm just plugging T4 into the answer that I thought was correct to confirm it, and it is right. We'll do the same trick with number 7. They give us T7. Well, I'm going to look over the list of answers there and say probably it's F. If D is equal to negative 3/4, well, that looks like answer F to me. Let's try T7, putting it in place in that answer. Let's see if it works. Does it not? Maybe it is a typo. Definitely should be minus, shouldn't it? Let's call it that way. Let's say they made a typo. Did anyone get any other answers there? Did anyone? Okay. Let's see how this goes here with T7 being 7/4. 7 goes there for n. Let's just check and see if that works out. We have to maybe do some old-fashioned grade 8 fraction work here. Multiply by 7 and change that to fourths as well. There's our 28 fourths. Yep, that works out to 7/4. So answer F is correct there. Okay, number 8. Draw a graph. We're looking at question 5 above as the source of information for that graph. It's got negative 2n plus 7 as a sort of equation we can graph. Well, in question 5, d is negative 2, and that's the slope. So I want you to kind of think about that. Keep that in your mind. There's the slope right there. This has a y-intercept of positive 7. And even though we might not use that y-intercept, it's there. So that will be a starting point. Our slope is negative 2, so we're going to go over 1 and down 2. Over 1, down 2. Put a blob there. Go over 1 and down 2. Go over 1 and down 2. There's the way our graph should look. Okay. There's no story to this problem, so we don't know whether it's appropriate to draw a line through these points or not. I'm going to just assume not, because it is a series with n being the number of terms, and that's a number. It's a whole number. It's a natural number. It doesn't include 0, and so that's why I didn't put a blob on the y-intercept there. That's what we did last day. Yes, sir?
You lose a mark if you drew a line for it?
I would not care so much on a quiz. I'd point it out to you.
Yeah.
You know? Right. Because what's along the x-axis here is term 1, term 2, term 3. There's no term 3.5. Right? We're just using counting numbers only. So maybe that's something to add to this little discussion. The x-axis must be counting numbers only. When we looked at the domain in a question last day, we determined that. We said the domain was x was anything greater than or equal to 1, and x was always an integer. Okay, on to number 9. Same question, but now we're looking at question 6 from before. For question 6, d is the same as the slope, and in this case it was 2.1. They gave us a T4 that equaled 11.3. So that tells me that if I go with x equals 4, I'll have a value of negative 11.3. So there's a point I can use to start my graph. Okay? Okay, at 4 across, I'm at negative 11.4. I'm way down there. And I can go up 2.1 and over one space. And up 2.1 and over. And up 2.1 and over. So again, we're, like back in grade 10, using that slope to count your way from one point to the next. And I'm not trying to be very accurate around this. I'm just trying to rough it together. If my boss wants me to be really accurate on some given day, I will. But, so when we see that D is 2.1, we say, okay,